Welcome. Today you will learn about skeletal system exploration. Let's get started. Hello, we're going to cover the skeletal system. Of course, bones are bones, but when it comes to the age of bones, the biggest difference between a fossilized one from our past and the ones in our bodies now is that the bones in our body are alive. It would definitely be a little freaky if an archaeologist dug up a bone and it came to life. Let's learn about the skeletal system of our body, which consists of bones, cartilage, ligaments, and tendons. Today we will understand the different parts that make up the skeletal system, as well as their importance and functions. Our bones, cartilage, and ligaments make up our skeletal system. This gives us structure and allows us to move. The adult human skeleton has a total of 206 bones. Here we have a really good image of the skeleton. Each bone is an intricate living organ made up of two main types of bone tissue: compact bone and spongy bone. Compact bone is dense and forms the outer layer of the bone. The periosteum is a tough membrane that covers and protects the outside of the bone, giving it that tough, shiny white color. Spongy bone fills the interior or cavity of bones and has a porous, honeycomb-like structure. It has tiny holes called pores that often store a soft connective tissue called bone marrow. This specialized tissue is where new blood cells are formed inside our bones. What I find really interesting is that our bones and teeth may look similar, but our teeth are not actually bones. Bones are living tissues and can regenerate throughout life, which is not the case with the enamel of the teeth. Enamel, the hardest substance in our body, does not contain any living tissue, so it can't heal or repair itself. Next, we have an image that shows the parts we'll cover next. Let's start with cartilage. At birth, many of a baby's bones are made entirely of cartilage, a dense connective tissue made of tough protein fibers that is also flexible. As the baby grows into childhood, much of that cartilage is replaced by actual bone. Growth zones are areas of cartilage in bones that allow for their growth. Unlike bone, cartilage contains no blood vessels or nerves. In adults, connective tissue covers the tips of bones to cushion the ends of bones in free-moving joints, such as the knee. This provides flexibility and smooth surfaces for movement, enabling the bones to move without friction. Next, we have ligaments. They are composed of bands of strong, dense connective tissue and support joints. They connect bones to other bones and give your joints support. An easy way to remember this is that ligaments are like for like, connecting bone to bone. The skeletal system also has many functions, including providing support to the body and giving us our shape and form. We have a good picture here summarizing all the ways it helps. Together, our bones, cartilages, ligaments, and other tissues perform the following vital functions. For one, they protect our internal organs from injury on impact by surrounding them. For example, your ribs guard your lungs and your heart, the bones of your vertebrae protect the spinal cord, and the bones of your skull shield your brain. So, if you trip and fall and hit your head, your skull will help protect your brain from injury. Another thing they do is produce blood cells. Certain bones in the skeleton contain bone marrow, which produces blood cells. Examples include the pelvis, ribs, and femur. Stem cells in the bone marrow give rise to red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, which are all incredibly important. Another function is movement. Bones provide a framework for muscle and tissue attachment. When the muscles contract, they pull on and move the bones to allow movement. Different bones are connected by joints, and the bones, joints, connective tissue, and muscles all work together to allow a great range of motion for the body as a whole and its individual parts. Something fun to know is that our body contains more than 600 muscles, whereas there are only 206 bones. No matter the task you're performing, our muscles move our bones by pulling on them via contractions and subsequent relaxation. Muscles can only pull, they can't push. An easy way to remember this is that you may hear someone say, "Oh geez, I pulled my muscle," but you never hear, "Oh man, I pushed my muscle." They are also important when it comes to the storage of minerals. The skeletal portion of the system acts as a reservoir for calcium and phosphorus, which are essential to the body's functioning. Bones contain more calcium than any other organ, and when blood levels of calcium drop too low, bones release these minerals back into the blood, maintaining mineral homeostasis. Another main function we talked about is support. The bones and cartilage of your skeletal system compose a scaffold that supports the rest of your body. Without it, the human body would just be a bag of soft tissues, not exactly a pretty sight to picture. For example, the large bones of the lower limbs support your body weight, helping you stand and move, and ensuring you don't fall over when you stand up. We definitely wouldn't get very far if that were the case. To sum everything up, our skeletal system is the basic framework of our body and is made up of what? That's right, compact bone tissue, spongy bone tissue, cartilage, and ligaments. All these different components, both individually and in association with other organs, perform important bodily functions. Our skeletal system is the basic framework of our body and is composed of compact bone tissue, spongy bone tissue, cartilage, and ligaments. These different components, both individually and in association with other organs, perform important bodily functions. I really hope you guys enjoyed studying this lesson and learned something neat about the skeletal system. Thank you all for listening. Great job! You have successfully learned about skeletal system exploration. Feel free to restart the simulation or go back to the homepage to try a different experience.